Hey, it's Brewbird. I'm a Canadian girl training to be a whiskey distiller in Scotland. Welcome to the Distilled Kitchen. Now, we've spent a lot of time in the kitchen here, but none in the distillery. So in this very special episode, we'll be heading to the Borders Distillery to see where all these lovely spirits are made, and to see if being a distiller is all it's cracked up to be. So let me take you there. The Borders Distillery is located in Hawick, Scotland. It's the first distillery in the Scottish Borders in over 180 years, as the last distillery in the Scottish Borders shut down in 1837. We only started producing our spirit in March of 2018, and since the spirit needs to mature in the cask for 3 years and 1 day to legally become Scotch whisky, we're all eagerly waiting for our Scotch to be ready still. But this hasn't stopped us from continuing on with our distillations. Today we have the poster child of Scotch whisky distilling himself, Jim Casey, showing us around.
Oh, that's good.
He has over 41 years of experience as a distiller and worked at the Glenkinchie Distillery prior to coming here. He's also helped train all the young distillers who work here. It's 8 a.m. and the first thing he'll do is turn on the gas boiler so we have enough steam to heat up our stills. Our distillery is considered medium-sized. We have a mash house on one side and a still house on the other, with one person handling the running of each house. Jim is running the still house today. In the mash house we produce the wash, which you can think of as being beer. The wash ferments for an average of 86 hours in a vessel known as the wash bath. When the alcohol percentage of the wash is 8% or more, it's ready to be transferred to the still house to be distilled. In the still house, we have a pair of spirit stills and a pair of wash stills, with each pair of stills handling a different distillation. The spirit that will ultimately become our Scotch whisky must undergo 2 distillations. The first distillation takes place in the wash stills. What is collected from this first distillation is known as the low wines. It will be 25 to 30% alcohol and will have a lot of flavors in it that we don't want. To further concentrate the alcoholic strength of the spirit and to create a more elegant flavored spirit, we'll do a second distillation in the pair of spirit stills. Then it will be ready to put inside the oak barrels to mature. Once the boiler is on, Jim will go back inside and turn the steam on for the pair of spirit stills. The spirit stills were charged with low wines the previous day by yours truly. Now it's time to get the wash stills ready. The reason the wash stills weren't charged the previous day like the spirit stills is because we wanted to give the wash, or beer, longer to ferment inside the wash bath. If they had been charged the previous day, the heat from the transfer process would have killed all the yeast inside. And dead yeast equals a dead fermentation. Jim will go to the mash house and measure the volume of the wash with his dipstick. Then he'll take a sample of the wash out from the wash bath and go determine the alcohol percentage of the wash. Once that's recorded, he can go downstairs to the bottom of the wash bath and open the valves necessary to transfer the wash over into the wash stills. He'll go back upstairs to turn the pump on, so now that one wash back is filling up these two wash stills simultaneously. Now, in order to be a good distiller, you need to be able to manage your time well. Remember, Jim is running both sets of distillations at the same time. So while he was transferring the wash over into the wash stills, the spirit stills were heating up. At this point, the temperature inside the spirit stills are around 60 degrees Celsius. These spirit stills usually start producing spirit at 83 degrees Celsius. So to get ready for this, Jim has gone downstairs again to turn on the river pump. The river pump will bring in cold river water from outside into the condensers of our stills. After that, he'll start hosing down the sides of the wash back, so all 25,000 liters of the wash inside gets transferred from the wash back into the wash stills on the other side. When we run our stills, it's important to note that we aren't actually creating more alcohol. We're only concentrating the alcohol that was produced in the wash back. We separate out the alcohol from the wash based on what we know about boiling points. We know that alcohol boils at around 78 degrees Celsius, whereas water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So when we heat up our stills, the alcohol will evaporate first. It will travel up, then down the line arm, and because of the cooling water in our condensers, it will turn back into liquid form and travel into the safe and into a spirit collection tank below. We can see that the spirit has started to come in from the spirit stills and into the spirit safe. Jim is turning down the steam, so the flow into the spirit safe is more steady and controlled. What's currently coming out into the safe is the heads, which is the undesirable part. He'll start a timer for 10 minutes, and then after that, he can turn the spout to cut the spirit and collect the heart of the spirit. This is the desirable part of our spirit, which will become our Scotch whisky. Now, he'll record the temperature and hydrometer reading for the start of the heart of the spirit collection. The hearts will be collected for the next 2 to 3 hours, so Jim won't have to worry about these stills until then. Meanwhile, the wash stills are now fully charged, so Jim will close up the man doors and turn the steam up for these stills as well. That was a lot of running up and down, so I think it's time we both had a well-deserved cuppa. Jim has been periodically checking the wash stills, waiting for them to come into the wash safe, and when they do, he'll turn the steam down like he did previously for the spirit stills, so that the flow into the wash safe is more controlled. Once that happens, he can relax and let the wash stills run for the next 4 to 5 hours. I think it's about time for another cuppa. So Jim, why did you become a distiller?
Well, started off, I moved with my family to Glenkinchie Distillery in East Lothian, and I was only 3 years old at that point. So my father worked in the distillery before me, and all through my childhood growing up, I spent my days in the distillery, a bit like what we are doing here just now. So when I grew up, I wanted to work there. So from the age of 16, when I left school, I worked in a sawmill for a small while, and I kept at my dad every day to ask the manager if there was any work going, and eventually there was. So 8 months later, I got a job working in the distillery in the warehousing department. In '89, I became a manager of the distillery, and I've worked all over Scotland.
The spirit stills have been running for over 3 hours now, and it's time for them to be cut again. We're now collecting the tails of the spirit. Jim will turn up the steam now, so the flow of tails into the spirit safe is more aggressive, and we can finish the distillation faster. Since we've finished collecting the hearts, Jim will go downstairs to the spirit collection tank and pull up the dip pipe inside to see how much of the heart of the spirit was collected.
52.4.
that was tiring. I think it's time we sit down for another cuppa.
So my favourite part of being in a distillery at the time was being the manager of the distillery and moving around, and my favourite bit of that is meeting people from all parts of the world, and it still is. Even talking to visitors that come here is really interesting. My favourite part of this distillery is that it's all manual. It's run by professional people, so everybody that works on this site is trained up properly to run the place. It takes years to get experience of it all and total confidence, but I'm enjoying being part of the team here. It's fantastic.
Thanks, Jim. Now, I think we better do some cleaning to make sure the still house sparkles for our distillery visitors. Now, it's time for lunch. And what does Jim have for lunch? What else but another cuppa? While Jim was on lunch, the wash stills finished collecting and have already been emptied. Jim is checking if the tails have finished collecting in the spirit stills. He'll get a density reading from the hydrometer floating inside and a temperature reading from the thermometer. With those two values in mind, he'll go to the book on the table and look up what the corresponding alcohol percentage is. When it's 1% alcohol or less, he'll cut the steam to the stills off and empty the spirit stills. After the distillation, what's now left inside the spirit stills is called the spent lees. The spent lees will be sent away in a tanker to a processing plant where it will be converted into energy. Now, Jim is going out back to make sure there's enough room in the tanker to hold all the spent lees from the spirit stills. After visually confirming there's enough room in the tanker for the spent lees, Jim will return inside and open the valves underneath the spirit stills to transfer the spent lees into the tanker. While the spirit stills are being emptied, it's only right that we sit down for another cuppa. As you can see, the spirit stills are emptied and the transfer is complete. So Jim can go back downstairs to close up the valves underneath the spirit stills.
Well, that's that finished. Time for a cuppa.
Both sets of distillations are complete for today, and all 4 stills have been turned off. Jim has already gone out back to turn the boiler off since we don't need the steam anymore. All that's left for him to do is some important paperwork. It's 4 p.m. now, so naturally it's time for Jim to have one last cuppa before heading home.
Cheers.
One for the road.
A very special thanks to Jim Casey for letting me stalk after him all day, and to the Borders Distillery for letting me film inside today. I hope you liked this day in the life of a distiller video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and I'll see you next time!